Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk, tonight's special edition of Health Pros Live. This is the last Monday of 2025. Can you believe it? We love to see where you are coming from, so please share coast to coast where you're coming from. And if you're new, please put new or newish in the chat as well, because we really want to welcome you here. Also, we want to welcome anyone who's listening on podcast. We love that. So we're so glad you're here with us. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jan Paxman, and I am a registered nurse. And tonight I have the privilege of co-hosting with my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Michael Smith. Many of you know him. He is a medical doctor. And Michael and I have known each other a long time, and we both have a great friendship and believe that health should be approached thoughtfully, responsibly, and with the long view in mind. That's how we do it here at Optavia. As we stand on the threshold of this brand new year, we wanted to create space tonight that feels really grounded and real. And we want to be focusing on medical health and wellness. That's been our topic for the last few weeks. It is really where the rubber meets the road. And we want to focus tonight on the lens of awareness and understanding what you've been learning and sustainable change. So tonight we're going to ask you to ask us questions. It's a live Q&A. Down at the bottom of your screen, you'll see that there's a Q&A tab that you can type your questions in, and we will be answering those for you. We want to help you answer as many as we can. And to just kick us off tonight, Michael, what are you going to be focusing on in the new year?
Well, what I absolutely love is that we have been talking so much about metabolic health. As a physician, so much of what we actually see and practice, things like prediabetes, fatty liver, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, it is all like we've all been going to the doctor getting our metabolic health checked, but we didn't even know it was that. But that is truly what every time you go to the doctor, they're assessing your metabolic health. The unfortunate reality is there's not really a lot that the medical world can do to help you with your metabolic health, but tons that we in the Optavia community can all help each other with when it comes to our metabolic health. And that's what I'm just so excited. That's what I'm focusing on. I'm absolutely loving playing around with my metabolic health scale every day. So I really highly recommend everybody get that. So much great information.
Yes, I 100% agree. How many of you put a 10 in the chat if you have gotten yourself a smart scale that actually reads the metrics behind the weight on the scale? Let's see how many.
Awesome.
And tons of 10s.
Yep.
So exciting. This is really
So
going to be the
good.
focus. I just will share really quick that my husband had a chronic cough after a little bout with a cold, could not get rid of it. And I said, if you go to the doctor, they're going to slap some, cough syrup with codeine or something in it. I said, how about we just get really clean and just focus in on your hydration, your sleep, your eating and everything. Let's just like really dial it in for a week and let's see what happens to that cough. And by golly, by day three, the cough was gone.
Guys, our bodies have so much power to heal themselves if we just help them out a bit.
Yeah. I'm not saying that would happen for everyone, right?
Yep.
But for him, it really did. Okay, looks we've got a few questions coming in, Michael. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, here's our first one. Let's see here. After an injury such as a broken arm, is there any evidence that amino acids can facilitate healing bones? Do you want to? I have something to share there. Do you have anything you want to add?
Hey, go ahead, Jen, and I'll play off you what you say.
Well, I don't know about a broken bone, but I do know that the amino acids have a lot to do with helping with bone structure and bone density. So I can say that I would guess, yes, that having amino acids on board could definitely help with the healing of that bone. So what would you say, Michael?
Well, I mean, on top of that is when we break a bone, right? You have to keep it immobile. When you keep your bone immobile, that means you're not using your muscles. You're losing a lot of muscles, the atrophy. So
Right.
most of the physical therapy or the recovery that comes from after that is about building up your muscle strength. So anything you can do to minimize muscle loss, like the amino acids, will only help your recovery. So, yes, our all parts of our body need amino acids, but it's going to really help your recovery. So highly recommend that.
Yes, I think that's awesome. That's a great thought. Okay, so yes, someone asked about the scale. Any scale that has metal plates on it and that has an app that you download that goes with it that gives you numbers and metrics beyond the number of your weight, that is the kind of scale that we're looking for. So that would be that would be a good one to have. So great. All right, the next question is bioengineering has a lot of negative connotations. Most of Optavia fuelings are bioengineered. What are some positive talking points around that topic? So I'll kick it off with that truly, like, they are not out of the ground or off a tree, like we would say in a natural sense, but they are also not processed like processed food at the grocery store. So processed food at the grocery store oftentimes has large amounts of preservatives, fat, salts, sugar, those kinds of things. And they don't have nutrition in them often. And that's very different than what our fuelings are designed. Our fuelings are designed with optimal health and wellness, balanced nutrition with the right amount of macronutrients, meaning proteins, carbs, and fats. Those are all in order. And the right amount of micronutrients, which are your multiple vitamins, minerals, calcium, fiber, iron, extra vitamin D3, and no preservatives. So no artificial sweeteners, colors, or flavors. So that's the difference between the type of fuel that we're talking about. And Michael, you can take off on this too, but I can just say that I've seen so many clients who have gone in and done panels, like blood panels before having used them. I was one of those. And afterward, seeing how well the body has responded to the fuel that's been taken in. Yeah, our goal is always to work toward whole foods and learning how to balance whole foods and eat them properly. That's our goal with our long-term transition plans. But in the interim, this is one of the best, these fuelings are the best possible choice to help you bridge that gap that I've ever seen. And I mean, the lab results just don't lie. So, Michael, what would you say?
I mean, I would simply say that I found Optavia, oh God, what, 11 years ago. When I did the program, I did it purely because I wanted to coach. Had no idea it would impact my autoimmune condition the way it has. I say that to say that to this day, 11 years later, because of the incredible impact it made on my pain and fatigue back then, I still use the fuelings today as a tool in addition to all of the whole foods that I eat. Specifically about bioengineering, it's not the bioengineering itself that's a problem. It's oftentimes what comes along with that, and they stick a bunch of other stuff in the foods that are bioengineered. So when it's clean sources of bioengineering foods, and yeah, I get it on the internet. Everybody's a doctor on the internet. They read and then they get really terrified by what they read. But you just got to be real careful and understand how the Optavia fuelings, like Jan was saying, are so vastly different than much of what they're talking about.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been amazing to see your result. What's happened for you with
So grateful.
your
Yeah.
health program is so great. Awesome. Okay, next question related to metabolic health. What are ways we can positively change those numbers on the metabolic scale, like the metrics behind your weight? I'm assuming that's what you mean, in addition to the 5-in-1 active. So, do you want to start out with this one, Michael, and I'll add to it?
Sure. I want to speak specifically, though, about the 501 for those who may not realize. Today, we can make claims about reversing metabolic disease, about reversing type 2 diabetes, lowering blood pressure, all of these things being signs of metabolic disease. We can claim that these things happen, and it's all because of the 5-in-1, right? So I don't want people to underestimate the power of the 5-in-1. That's not a lifelong, plan, but just understand that if that's the right plan for you, it has incredible power for you. Here's the thing. Everything that's involved in the Optavia lifestyle outside of the 5-in-1, like clean eating, exercise, sleep, stress management, meditation, all of these things improve our metabolic health, right? And therefore help improve all of these numbers that we're talking about. So this is really a great point. I'm so glad you asked this question because Optavia is not the 5-in-1. Optavia is not the 4-in-2. Optavia is a comprehensive lifestyle program that involves sleep and stress and all of these things we're talking about, and all of which positively impact metabolic health.
Hmm, awesome. Yes, I agree 100%. I think too that yeah, I couldn't really add to that. Let's just keep moving because we got more questions here. So, how do you get past heart palpitations during week one? This is Piano Dad. So, I would ask if you're having heart palpitations, um, and you're using the 5-in-1 plan, maybe it would be a good idea to do a little softer approach. Maybe do the 4-in-2 plan or 4-2-in-1 plan, just something that will ease you into a balanced state with your blood sugar that's maybe not quite as drastic. That's what I would suggest. And of course, talk to your doctor, make sure that he's aware that you're having heart palpitations. If that's an ongoing thing and you're being treated for it, then great. And if he knows that you're doing the program, but I would say maybe just ease in. What would you say, Michael?
Yeah, but one I'd say is make sure you're not tanking up on a bunch of caffeine for some reason that during week one. It's very uncommon, at least in my experience, but sometimes the fat burn process, like Jan is talking about, can lead some people who are prone to feeling like they're having heart palpitations. I think that's a great suggestion. I would probably back off, go to more like the 4-in-2, slide more slowly into the fat burn process and transition to the 5-in-1 after a couple of weeks and see how you do. Most people that do that do just fine. Your body will just tend to take a smoother process into that. But yeah, definitely talk to your doctor. I mean, make sure there's not something else going on because that is not a common thing to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Perfect. Okay, next question. If we don't drink amino acids within 15 minutes of mixing, do they still work? And so we've heard recently from a lot of different sources that they are the most effective if you drink them within a certain time frame of mixing them. So yeah, I think within 15 to 20 minutes is optimal. But if you're having a hard time getting them in, some people put them in less water and just like, throw them down. I put them in 32 ounces, and seriously, I am so in a habit of getting up and making 32 ounces of uh, essential amino acids in the morning that I just put a big old straw and suck that 32 ounces down in about 10 to 15 minutes. It doesn't bother me, but I know I may be different than others. So, but Michael, do you have anything to add? I know
I
it
mean,
goes
yeah.
right into the bloodstream. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, okay, here's the thing. Yes, it's better in 15 to 20 minutes. It's not like they're not going to work after 30. Maybe they'll be a slightly less active. Do everything you can to get them in within the 15 to 20-minute timeline. If it takes you a little longer, don't freak out about it. Just try to build the healthy habit of getting your amino acids in a little bit sooner, especially after you work out. That's when your muscles are the hungriest. So if you're taking EAAs after working out, drink it, especially within 15 minutes or so after that, so your muscles really can benefit from that extra boost.
Perfect. That's amazing. Okay. Okay, here's an interesting one. My husband has valley fever. Would the essential amino acids help? So, if I'm remembering, valley fever is a fungal infection, and it's when you live in dry climates, sometimes you get it. Um, and so, yes, okay, yes. Um, I don't know that amino acids would have I don't know if they would hurt, but I don't know that they would
Right.
help.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can make a claim. There's just no, no evidence, no studies have been done. We really don't have any research to fall back on. I mean, EAAs, extra protein, extra lean sources of protein, the building blocks of protein are always going to be good for us. But whether or not they would specifically help that fungal infection, who knows? But it'll certainly help with the energy and the preservation of your health in the meantime.
Right, for sure. Okay. Great questions tonight. Wow, Michael, we're getting a ton of them. This is awesome. Okay, next we have a question from Mary Kay, and she asks, can you share your opinions on using the biometric scale with artificial joints? The scale does list warnings for those of us that have knee and or hip replacements. And I've also heard for pacemakers. So I understand that for pacemakers, because it uses a very gentle electric current to go through the body and measure all the different types of matter, like the bone, the muscle, the different types of fat, and it does that. I can see why for a pacemaker it might be an issue, but be sure and talk to your doctor about that. But for joints, what would you say about that, Michael?
And I would reiterate that even for pacemakers, talk to your doctor, but I bet your doctor will probably say it's okay, but talk to your doctor before you do it. Really, the issue with joints is not that they can throw the numbers off a little bit, right? Because they are it's detecting everything that your body is inside your body. So it's going to detect that metal or whatever they're made of. So it might throw your numbers off, but this is a good point. We're not looking for these numbers to be exact. We're looking for directionally for them to help you know that you're moving in the right direction, right? So your numbers should be improving. So even if they're a little off at baseline, it's okay because you're going to directionally see where they're moving. But yeah, initially, because of the artificial nature of the stuff you have in your body, the initial reading might be a little off.
Mm, yep, good answer. Okay, love it. So I'm not sure if this is a question or just a comment, but Suzanne says, so when like you take vitamin supplements, those are bioengineered. So Optavia fuelings are like superfood vitamins.
Yeah, I mean, people have just gotten sort of a bad connotation of bioengineered just because, again,
Yeah.
it's the internet. You can read whatever, but so much of what we do, take if it's done in a healthy bioengineered way, we're good.
Yes. So great. Okay. And then we have a question from Sherry, and she asks if someone was going to add whey protein to their 5-in-1 plan, would they exchange it for a fueling or drink it between fuelings? So I can just say that there is a program called the 5-in-1 Active Plus that many coaches have been using, and they tried it out for quite some time. And now we learned about it. We're using it. I'm using it with my clients, and I just call it the metabolic flip plan for short. But what it is you're using a scoop of the essential aminos in the morning with your first fueling. Then you have your mid-morning fueling. Then at lunchtime, you drink a whey protein shake instead of a fueling. Then you have your afternoon fueling, and then you have your lean and green, and then a fueling after your lean and green, which gives you 3 separate episodes of a protein load, which is full of the essential amino acids, which allow for muscle protein synthesis. So it's a beautiful program. It works very well. And yes, you would substitute in that instance that whey protein for a fueling. Anything else, Michael?
Yeah, we do. I do the same. I mean, I really like using the whey protein sometimes in place of fuelings. Extra protein, you get fewer carbs. Some people get into fat burn a little faster, a little stronger. It just all depends on the person. It is a possibility, but really just work with your coach to make sure it's the right approach for you. One thing is they don't have the vitamins and minerals in them like the fueling, like the essential fuelings do. Might not be a bad idea to take a vitamin supplement if you do use that in place of fuelings.
Yep, I love that. Okay, well, we're doing great on time. I love this. Okay, we're moving along. We have Miss Sarah asks, what do I do if I'm 77, but my metabolic age is 86? I do have multiple pain constantly. So I would just say, my dear Sarah, you are in the right place. Have your coach continue to work with you. And the funnest part is as you're consistently using the plan that is right for you, hopefully because the inflammation will be settled down in your body, the pain will begin to ease. At least we've seen that. I've seen that in myself. Michael's seen that in himself. Many people have seen that. And also, you're going to see on your scale that metabolic age is going to creep backward to be more in alignment with your physiological age. So just know that you're in a great spot. Lean in to all of it. The community, you're here tonight, your coach, the amazing programs that we offer. It will help you to level things out and turn that ship around. So that's what I would say.
And yeah, I'll add one thing in that: be patient with yourself. The number on the scale when it comes to weight can change up, down, it goes all over the place, right? One of the most frustrating things when we're on a health journey, your metabolic numbers, like metabolic age, won't change overnight. They won't change quickly. This is a lesson for us to be very consistent and keep moving forward, keep making the healthy choices, not to get completely thrown off track if we don't see these numbers changing quickly, but trust that if you're making the good healthy habits, your body is improving metabolically and your metabolic age will improve over time. Just keep it up.
Wonderful. So good. Good luck, Sarah. You can do it. Okay, next question from Elaine. Do amino acids help with inflammation and also help prevent scar tissue buildup? So I know that I feel energy when I use them. They are the building blocks of protein, which help to build muscle. And when your metabolism is strong, when you're building that muscle, it helps you have strength. It also helps you burn more calories. Um, and all those things I think can help lend to decreased inflammation, but I don't know that they're on their own made to help decrease inflammation. But they can be helpful with scar tissue because it's just a part of that tissue. We're building healthy tissue. And I think it can help with that. Would you say, Michael?
Yeah, and I would say that hopefully you're using the amino acids in addition to the lean and green lifestyle, right? Doesn't mean the 5-in-1, it just means a general lean and green lifestyle. That approach, along with being active, managing your stress, getting good sleep, all of these things are critical for reducing inflammation. So yes, they're a part of your anti-inflammatory lifestyle program, but they in themselves, I mean, you wouldn't want to take them without making other healthy choices too. So it's hard to separate which one's actually having the effect is, but in combination, it's a great thing to add to your anti-inflammatory lifestyle.
Yes, love that. Okay, this is from Jody. What does 5-in-1 mean? I'm just researching and learning about Optavia and how do macro amounts change after menopause, macro amounts change after menopause, and when and how you eat in relation to when you do your workout. I'm in menopause and trying to figure all of this out. Okay, good question. So 5-in-1, basically, if you've got someone that invited you here, you probably have a coach, and that coach can take you through and help you understand all the different plans that are part of the Optavia world. There are many of them. And depending on what your goals are and your specific needs, you want to find one that's specifically tailored to you, right? So have that conversation with the person that invited you. And the 5-in-1 is just one of the programs. We use these wonderful fuelings like we've talked about tonight. They are little meals that are created for you and provided for you so that you take the guesswork out of balancing your body nutritionally, balancing blood sugar, and just getting everything leveled out. They kind of help you like push a reset button on your body. And in the 5-in-1, you use 5 of them a day. You start typically within an hour of waking, and then every 2 to 3 hours, you have another fueling. And then you eat one meal a day that you get to provide for yourself, which is a lean and green meal. It consists of 5 to 7 ounces of lean protein and 3 servings of lower starchy vegetables. And that gives you great practice and learning how to put healthy meals together. And that, along with, like Michael said, focusing on hydration, movement, healthy sleep, surroundings, your support system, all those things create this beautiful balance as you're learning from Dr. Anderson's Habits of Health Transformation System, how to build a lifestyle that promotes lifelong transformation. So that's just it in a nutshell. And as far as balancing your how the macros change after menopause, I'm menopause postmenopausal, and I just did the same thing all the way through. I had a really easy time, but that may be just me. I have coached people though that were having a lot of issues with hot flashes and other things. And once they balanced out their nutrition and they got their blood sugar balanced, other things tended to balance better as well. So that's just what I've heard and what I've experienced as a coach. And, as you're working with your doctor, I'm sure you'll be able to, let him know you're thinking about this program and or her. And as you are consistent with these little things, big things can improve. Would you
Yeah.
add to that, Michael?
Yeah, I smile a little bit when I get questions about menopause because heck yeah, it's true. Our bodies change and women even more so through the whole menopause process. Um, and so many women with menopause before, during, and after struggle a lot with weight loss or losing weight. But Jan has seen it happen many times. I've seen it happen many times. I think you said beautiful balance. That's exactly what it is. This is scientifically proven to give your body what it needs to put you into a natural fat burn state, even in menopause. I see so many women that have struggled with so many things prior, and the 5-in-1 or the 4-in-2 or whichever plan is the right plan for them uh, is the thing that finally puts them over the edge and gets their scale moving in the right way, will get their metabolic numbers moving in the right way. So do your research, but just know that based on my experience helping a lot of women, Jan's personal experience in helping a lot of women, I feel very confident that you're going to have amazing results if you decide this is the right approach for you.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, two really quick ones, and then we'll wrap this baby up. Jill asks if she has lost some inches because of scoliosis, what height measurement should she enter? What would you say, Michael?
Yeah, it's a great question. And the unfortunate reality is you are supposed to use your actual height now, so minus the 3 inches. I know it seems kind of unfair, doesn't it? But it's like as we get older, we all tend to lose some inches. We're supposed to use our actual inches. But again, that's just for BMI. That's just for the number on the scale. This is where your metabolic health and your metabolic numbers are going to be so critically important because they are going to truly tell the story in someone like you, especially about your metabolic health much more than your weight.
Yes, yes, exactly. Okay, and then Miss Mary says, I've been getting stale on the 5-in-1 since it's been almost 3 years, and you've had amazing results. Good job, girl. You've got some great goals. Keep going. But besides the project making it a new, fresh start, she's asking, are there any books to read about metabolic health? There are, I'm sure you could look it up on Amazon. You could find all kinds of things, but honestly, if you haven't ever read Dr. A's Habits of Health book, that is the best book on metabolic health that I've ever read. Like, it changed my life. It helped me balance things out and understand my body in ways that I did not know. They did not teach it in nursing school. So I would just say if you haven't really, really, you know, gotten that in your soul, that would be the one for that I would suggest.
100%. The Life book is fantastic, but it doesn't get into the nitty-gritty about metabolic health. The Habits of Health, and it's almost feels like a little bit, it can, when you look at it, it almost feels like you're going to have to read an encyclopedia, but it is so incredibly well written in a manner that is very understandable and just boils it all down. Just know that even if Dr. A is not saying metabolic health, the whole book is about metabolic health.
Right. Oh my gosh, these are all so good. Yes, you can use hot water with your shakes and it doesn't mess up the protein. I do it all the time. Do you need to add the EAAs to start better? No, 5-in-1 straight up can help you improve your metabolic health. So you don't need that. And the last one, Michael, you take it. If you substitute for the whey for a fueling, will it kick you out of fat burn?
No, and actually, as I mentioned, is it can sometimes put some people into a stronger, faster fat burn because it is the lack of carbohydrates that puts you into a fat burn. So you're getting fewer carbohydrates with your whey protein. So it absolutely won't kick you out of fat burn. It might even make it a little bit better.
Yes. Oh, wow. You guys, we cranked through a ton tonight. Thank you so much, Michael, for being here with me. What fun to hang with you always, even on roller coaster.
Fantastic. Thank
We had a roller coaster incident once in our past. So anyway,
you.
moving on, I just want to finish up by saying be sure you're subscribing to our podcast. Go in under podcast and find Optimal Health Community. Let's talk and join. We also have a YouTube channel. And next week, we have an amazing kickoff for the new year, Focus to Flourish in 2026. So don't miss out being there. And be sure you talk to your coach because there may be something cool kicking off with the first of the year, helping to restructure and refocus that you want to be a part of. So be sure you talk to your coach and find out if there's something going on. If so, be a part of it. And we're so glad to have you be a part of our Optavia family. Thanks again, Michael, and thank you all for being here tonight. And be
See you
sure to
guys.
bye bye.